Pakistan has accused India of lighting an inferno in Afghanistan that could have ripple effects across the region. What exactly is Pakistan afraid of? And what does it mean for India? We'll discuss that. But first, some background. The last 2 weeks have seen heightened activity along the Afghan-Indian border. On August 16th, there was heavy exchange of fire between the two sides. A few days later, Indian troops retaliated after Pakistani troops tried to infiltrate the border in the Machil sector. And now Pakistan is crying foul. In a new report, they've accused Indian forces of deliberately targeting civilian areas. This is what the report says. Citing unnamed sources, it says Indian forces are deliberately targeting civilian-populated areas in violation of all international laws and norms, including the Geneva Convention. The report adds that these attacks are aimed at creating a humanitarian crisis. Basically, Pakistan is saying that India wants to make Afghanistan ungovernable. But why would India do that? Apparently to punish Afghanistan's new rulers, the Taliban. The report does not say this directly, but it alludes to it. Listen to what it says. India has been saying that it has no objection to the Taliban's rule in Afghanistan as long as they do not use Afghan soil to launch attacks on India. In other words, India has laid down a red line. If the Taliban cross it, India will respond. And this is where Pakistan thinks it could be a problem. The question is, what exactly is the problem? If you ask Pakistan, here's what you get. An official statement from Islamabad says that India's actions are increasing the chances of a wider conflict in the region. They also violate the sanctity of the line of control, or the LOC. Remember that this is the same LOC that Pakistan violates every single day. They send infiltrators into Indian Kashmir. They provide them with logistics and weapons. Sometimes they even offer money. Is Pakistan really worried about the sanctity of the LOC, or is it just making excuses to infiltrate? India has responded to these allegations, but not surprisingly, Pakistan did not bother to listen. Here's what India's Ministry of Defense had to say. I have a statement with me. It says, and I'm quoting, Pakistan's accusation that India is targeting civilian-populated areas in Afghanistan is not only baseless, but also an attempt to shift the world's attention from its own nefarious designs in Afghanistan. In other words, India says Pakistan is trying to divert global attention from its own wrongdoings. And this is true for 2 reasons. Number 1, Pakistan is trying to make Afghanistan another Kashmir. It wants to export terrorism to the neighboring country. Let me show you some pictures from August. These pictures are from Kabul. What do they show? A gathering of the Haqqani network. Who are the Haqqanis? A group of Islamic fundamentalists. They have links to Al-Qaeda and ISIS. They were in Afghanistan during the Soviet War. They fought against the Americans in the last 2 decades, and now they're openly holding rallies in Kabul. What does it say about Pakistan's intentions? That its terror factories are not limited to its own territory. They can blow up cities in India. They can carry out targeted killings in Afghanistan. For Pakistan, there is no place like home. Reason number 2, Pakistan is trying to internationalize Kashmir. It wants to drag the Kashmir issue into the United Nations Security Council. They've already circulated a draft resolution. It seeks a UN investigation into alleged human rights abuses in Jammu and Kashmir. India has opposed this move. So has the United States. But what happens when one country accuses another country of violating international law? It becomes a diplomatic storm. And this is something that Pakistan is banking on. They want global attention on Kashmir. They want to assemble an international squad against India. And how will India respond? With more retaliatory strikes. That's what Pakistan is afraid of. So what can India do to stop this? One option is to ignore Pakistan. Don't give a response. Don't even issue a clarification, because that will only give Pakistan more ammunition. Your silence will force the international media to look for answers. Another option is to call Pakistan's bluff. Expose its nefarious designs in Afghanistan. Tell the world how Pakistan is exporting terrorism to a neighboring country. Tell them how Islamabad is trying to meddle in Kashmir yet again. There's one more thing that India must do. It must build a strong case against Pakistan. Gather all the evidence, bring it to the United Nations, expose Pakistan's lies. Only one country has done this so far: the United States. Last week, a U.S. official gave a detailed account of Pakistan's role in Afghanistan. He said Pakistan provided safe havens to the Haqqani network. He also accused Islamabad of harboring Osama bin Laden. But America did not stop there. It released a 24-page report. It has more than 500 references, 35 of which mention Pakistan. There is no doubt left here. It's all documented. India needs to do the same. The international community must know the real face of Pakistan. It's high time we called the bluff.